What up, though? Welcome to the FreeGame Producer Podcast. We got a very, very special guest in the building.
Yes, sir.
We got a legend in the building. Now, we interviewed him on episode 94 of the podcast. You know, it was a very, very dope episode. We got into his history, his legendary music career. We talk about an Atlanta fixture.
Yeah.
We got to talk about this man.
Staple.
Right here. You know what I mean? Original member of the Dungeon family. You know what I mean? He's worked with, as an A&R or executive producer with Pink, T.I., Usher, TLC, John Legend, Youngbloods, Yelawolf, Mario, Mary. He's held several executive positions at like Columbia Records, Sony, Def Jam, Atlantic, head of music for I Am Other with Pharrell. You know what I'm saying? Grammy Award winner.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's keep going.
I did a count.
This is about to be the intro to my set. Go ahead.
I did a count. He's A&R or executive producer over like almost 40 projects at least.
Wow.
I stopped counting because we had to get ready for the show. So at least 40 projects that he's been involved in.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the legend, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kawan Prather, KP in the building. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm overwhelmed. What's up?
There it is.
Not to mention the DJ work. You know, I saw you just did Earthgang's album, you know?
Yeah. EP, album producer on that,
Yeah. Man, look, I'm glad you're here, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for the invite. I'm glad I got called in and y'all got video.
Yeah, we got you on tape this time.
Yeah.
I mean, we can never do enough of these, man. Honestly, bro, like, you know, who you are to our community, who you are to me, it means a lot to have you on the show, man. And so to take your time out to do this, because I know you was jet setting and getting ready to get out of here, I appreciate it.
I appreciate that you have this to do it, like that you have this platform. This is crazy.
Yes, sir.
I think I read somewhere or saw you say somewhere you're grateful for the influence that Atlanta has had on you, who you are as a person. But we here in Atlanta and all across the world, we're grateful for your influence on the game, because we know that the game wouldn't be what it is today without your influence. That's why we got the podcast, to give flowers and to let everybody know what's really going on out here.
That's
so
right.
Again, thank you so much.
No, I appreciate it. I'm grateful.
Now, I just saw when I was researching, I saw the XXL power players, you know, the power players in the industry, and you were on the cover of there.
Yeah.
And I saw you post how you contrasted that with XXL's cover, I think 20-some years ago, about the greatest day in hip hop, where they had all the people in hip hop that meant anything on one long cover.
Yeah.
So almost 30 years later, how does it feel to like be still a power player in the game?
Oh yeah. Oh no. Okay. So that first one was the Great Day in Hip Hop. It was like it was ode to the Gordon Parks picture of the jazz Great Day in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like already monumental. We had Gordon Parks shooting all of, you know, who was in hip hop at that moment. And, you know, again, none of us were like, we still didn't know yet.
Yeah.
Everybody was still just happy to be there and be around each other and seeing people who rapped. It wasn't that we didn't know. We just knew it was dope.
Yeah.
And I think that's how I feel about even the Power Players cover. It's like the fact that I'm still involved, you know, that I'm welcomed in rooms. It's still like that's something to be grateful for, and you know, and to be a contributor. You know, that's the part I want to do. I just always want to be able to be a contributor in the room.
Yeah.
Speaking of being a contributor, being the head of music of I Am Other, let's talk about that a little bit. What does that entail? Like, what is your role there, and how has that been?
I mean, it's a weird title in general because it's like head of music over a company with Pharrell. Sounds silly, but what it is I guess from a taste and, you know, quality control standpoint, it's, you know, that's my role, is to make sure that, you know, the right people are getting into the studio with him, and, you know, that we're working on the right things, that we're, you know, involved in not just, you know, the legacy stuff that we've already been in, but making sure that, you know, he's involved with the new artists like the Sofagos of the world and Moneybagg Yo's. It's like, it's not just catalog.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's the idea is to just keep contributing, man.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of just speaks to who we know you as, man. Just being a great music curator, just a person who knows what's up. You've always known what's up. It's kind of dope to watch because you've been a part of so many, like, decades of great music and had your hand in it. So it's like, if anybody knows how to see it when it's coming, it's you. You know what I'm saying? And I just appreciate that idea. And it's like, yeah, I think the title fits perfectly. It's like, yes, you're down with one of the greatest producers of all time, but at the end of the day, man, it's always dope to have somebody sharp enough to be able to see in places that said person may not be. You know what I mean? And that's really dope.
How are you able to keep your hand on the pulse though of today?
I think because I'm not famous. That's it. I think
that's why.
Yeah, I think I get to see real shit because people aren't necessarily trying to impress me. So I get to like just honestly see how I feel about stuff.
Yeah,
most of the time.
I think that's crazy, man. Because in our world, you're super important to executives and music makers and things like that. But you know, yeah, I can imagine like the average person has no idea who you are when you're in a space. But what's really cool about you as a person is your humility, dog. It's like you have to ask questions in order to find out who you are and what you've done and what you're involved in. And I just think that, you know, from being humble, because like a lot of cats ain't like that, bro. Like some people, they can't even, they can't be outside with 1,000 people without telling everybody who they are. So that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm humble per se.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's the word. I think I'm realistic, though, in the fact that, like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, but I also know what a lot of other people are doing. So it's like in perspective or in context, it's not that big a deal. It's people who've done more.
That's dope.
Man. That's dope. In 2022, the position of an A&R or an executive producer, let's just say, it seems to be real murky.
It's murky.
Murky, like
I mean, this whole shit murky.
Like,
amen.
Well, as one of the greatest to ever do it, what is your definition of an executive producer? And absolutely, one of the greatest to ever do it. What's your definition of an executive producer and an A&R, and the difference between the two and what they do?
I think A&R is a really like vague title now, because you can be an A&R for a bunch of different reasons. You could have been the first person to see somebody post something and call them and say they're dope, and take and post it, and someone sees your post about this new thing and they're like, yo, you got your hand on the pulse of the internet.
Right.
And you know, it's like it could be that person, but it can also be the person who understands the process of writing and producing and artist development. And they, you know, they can contribute a little bit different. Like they can actually make records. Some A&Rs are producers. Yeah. You know, I'm lucky I come from a DJ background first. So it's like my first goal is people aside from me. So I'm always thinking about it from how does this music fall? Where does it play? Like who is it for? Right. So, you know, my version of A&R is based in taste. And like you said, it's like probably curation. Yeah. And, you know, and I have the technical skills of the other things. Yeah. Like I've produced, I can write, I can, you know, I have rapped, I have, you know, I've performed. I understand the stress of it too. Yeah. So it's like, I think, A&R is weird. But what it did is for me, it graduated me into this executive producer space, because what I also know is as a producer, I don't have to touch everything. I don't have to write it. I don't have to do the beat. But if I know the right person to get in that room to make this thing complete, that's, you know, I'm looking at it the same way as a Brian Grazier, like a movie producer. Yeah. Like I just want to make sure all the proper people are in the room so that this thing comes out right.
I'm really glad that you speaking on that, because I've witnessed that from you. You know what I'm saying? Over the years that we've worked together, you know, it's been situations where you didn't take producer credit on some things, and you very well could have, because some of the things wouldn't have happened had you not been the person to say, this is the perfect keyboard player for this situation. Let's put this guitar guy in here. Or, you know what I'm saying? Let me assemble, you know, even an environment to work in. And like, I learned that later in time, because as I got my own place, it was like, this is what I'm more interested in now than sitting down and actually banging out a beat sometime. It's like, that's not even the producer part of it in some cases. Yeah. Some cases it is, but you know.
But I can speak to that part, right? Like some of it was me being naive. I didn't know either. Like, or I didn't feel like it was fair. I felt like, you know, I don't want to get in the way, and I know how sensitive people are. If they feel like they didn't come up with it and they don't get this credit, they may not move forward with the right energy. So it was more of a like, look, I understand it. Let me just put in. And honestly, I probably did that most of my career.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I know that. That's what I'm saying.
But this is where I give Pharrell credit, right?
Yeah.
Like, so with All Right specifically.
Mm-hmm. I'll mention. I was just about to say it. Mention.
Yeah.
He's the person who said, "Damn, you wrote that."
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of know I did, but it wasn't it wasn't even a thing. It was more like, I know I said it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, shit, that's dope. Let's keep that.
We kept it, right.
And again, years later, it came out to the point where I think all of us forgot about it. When he was like, yo, you know that record, Kendrick took it.
Wow.
And because of how it went, like, I didn't have credit on it on the album at first.
Yeah.
Because it happened out of, like, people just assumed it must have been
right,
whatever, right? Or who else would have contributed?
Right.
And that's never happened before. So he was the one who was like, yeah, I mean, let's get it straight. And it got fixed like almost a day before the Grammys announcements.
Oh, that's dope.
Nice.
You get that call, you better change it. That's fine.
But it also put a different. It's like it put the blue check kind of on my career.
Come on, man. Yeah, that's dope. I'm glad, man, because it's a few guys that I know who deserve that and don't get it. And I hope that it's not because they don't know. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's that though, like, cause I didn't know.
Yeah.
By the way, I thought my role was to make sure the shit just got done.
So I mean, I got a chance to like sit down with you and talk about the Earthgang project before it actually dropped, and I was super excited to see the role that you were playing in that. Is that like your sort of like your introduction into, all right, so I'm really stepping into this and claiming it and like not allowing people to just position me as, the curator this time. I want to be the guy.
Or the person. Let me pick your brain, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So I
like my new shit is, if you want to pick my brain, let me pick your pocket.
Come on, man.
Free game.
Pay me. Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, I felt that, man, on this project too, man. And like when it finally came out, because like I said, I did get a sneak peek of it, and it was just like, I know this is gonna be incredibly dope, and like it's gonna be different. And when it came out and I saw the reception, I was just like, flowers, man. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was really dope, and to see you be able to get the producer side of it, it meant a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, that's a testament to Barry and Zeke and the guys that since the '80s and Earthgang.
Yeah,
like Barry reached out to me and asked me would I do it.
That's dope.
So it was like, again, it's like I wish I was probably more forward in taking the credit that I could rightfully take. Yeah. But I think I've been more concerned with the art of it and how it comes out than who gets credit for it. And that's been a good and bad thing. It's like,
it's equally important, man, because in truth, man, if someone doesn't care about the artistic aspect of it, then, we end up with what we see so much of right now.
Yeah, but okay, but also in that idea of when you do get that credit, right, we've worked together on things where those credits can cause animosity too, based on who people know the most and who people are familiar with. That's right. And sometimes people feel like they should get more credit, right? and the thing is, it's not that big a deal as long as they're talking to one of us. That should be the goal. That's like that goal. Means we always got to end.
That's right.
But I think people get so caught up in the idea of being the man or being that's right. Produced all the slashes. Yep. And I realized later that I ended up with a bunch of slashes because I did a bunch of work. That's right. But I wasn't trying to get them all at one time.
That's right, man. Each job added a slash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's like levels of growth. It's like I didn't walk in as any of that shit. Yeah. Like I walked in as a student. Yeah. And what I learned and was able to apply was able to get me like a career.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of speak to that too, man. Like all your career, man, you've been a service to somebody. You know what I mean? Like you've never been a person who walks in a room in need of much. It's always you're there to give something. And I see it in every aspect, bro. Like I'm at the music fest last year, and unexpectedly, like, Tip came out and performed and like you were DJing. And I had probably talked to you not a few days before that. It was kind of like an unexpected thing. So it's like that had to be a homie service call. Like, hey, bro, what you doing? I need you.
That was exactly what happened. Like, I think that was the Ty Dolla $ign.
That's
show.
exactly what it was.
He was gonna come out to do a couple songs on Ty.
Yeah.
And I want to believe MLK wasn't around to do it.
Yeah.
Like, because MLK is out here. He's in Vegas doing residencies and shit. Niggas out here living. And I happen to be around.
Yeah.
And he asked me would I do it. Like, I DJ, so.
Yes, sir.
And we've done shows together, so we understand each other's timing and all that cool shit. So it's like, if not, why not? Like,
yeah,
why not call your friend?
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy.
It's crazy, man.
A couple minutes ago, you're talking about the Earthgang project. You mentioned Barry Hefner.
Mm-hmm.
Funny you mentioned that because I had something in my notes here about a tweet that Will and I were talking about. Wanted to get your opinion on. He tweeted, because we consider you a very, very important tastemaker and curator. But the tweet went like this. It said, the music industry is suffering from too many influencers and not enough tasteful curators. What are your thoughts on like the influencer versus the curator type of conversation?
I am KP the Great and I support that message.
There it is.
That's it.
That's it. I love it, man.
So, but with that though, the larger conversation is the whole what is analytics versus raw talent, or is it like a balance? You have to have both these days.
Well, analytics lets you know what happened already. Like if you get data, it means these are the things that happens. These are patterns that somebody did. It doesn't account for what somebody hasn't done yet.
Come on, man.
So you have to have like feeling, gut instinct, or something to understand when that new thing shows its head, how to not stomp it out and how to support it.
Yes, sir.
Like you got to have like discernment to do that.
Yes, sir.
And analytics don't allow for discernment.
So like, all right, so working with Pharrell, man, we revere him greatly. You know what I mean? In our community and just in music as a whole. Like, what have you learned, man, working with him? Because I know that's a loaded question, but like, what is the takeaway?
And this one sounds easy, but it's just don't fight the feeling. Like whatever the feeling is, go with that, because like it's something specifically, there's an antenna in you specifically that catches things that you're supposed to catch. And if you are paying too much attention to too many other people, you will miss your signals.
You'll miss your signal. Free gang. Let's go.
Talking about signals. This is a producer podcast. We got a lot of up and coming producers, songwriters trying to get into the game. So from your perspective, what are some of the important things that a new producer, a new songwriter, a new engineer trying to get into music? What are some important things that they need to? How would they go about getting in the music industry in 2022?
Man, I don't even know if there is a music industry in 2022. I think there are just individual platforms that you have to build an audience for the thing that you are trying to sell. I don't necessarily know that you got to go through the same hoops. Like it's kind of it's the Wild Wild West in a good and bad way.
Yeah,
that's my next question was on there. Is our record labels important, or is it like a different type of setup?
Okay, smart money is on smart people, and the hope you have when you go into record labels is at that particular time they have enough smart people doing the jobs to get you what you need done and get it to the people that need to see it.
Yeah.
The likelihood of that happening is, and getting the attention, because everything moves so fast. Like labels move, the attention moves off of projects in days. Matter of fact, in tweets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if somebody messes around and gets retweeted by somebody super famous, it takes the energy off of the thing that somebody had been working on for 6 months of a plan to build, because it's like, oh God, LeBron played this in his workout.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now, it's like, which now makes LeBron an A&R.
Yeah, it does.
Because he's curating, like that's what I mean. It's like,
wait, Two Chainz got him to help him with his.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah. I'm saying that literally. Yeah. It's like, because he actually is a taste guy. He's a guy with taste, like, and he's a winner. So it's like, why not listen to a winner's taste?
That's right.
It's like the internet has made that he's a record company, he's a film company, he's a basketball star, he's a philanthropist. You can be whatever you choose to be at this point.
I think that's got some value, but it still bothers me though that like that does take away from like maybe a 6-month plan, because like that's still 15 minutes. You know.
Oh no. I mean, listen, the results are usually the same.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to catch those moments that happen that you had nothing to do with,
right.
You're gonna spend money to do that.
That's right.
If you just playing, you can make money. Like you can spend less money and just do it right. And then right. LeBron will just hear about your shit and play it.
That's right. That's what you want. That's what you want.
Yeah. So how does that work now in terms of rollouts? Because
what's that?
Not even rollouts.
No.
Oh, that Bing. That's probably
no. I was actually talking about.
Oh, what's the rollout?
Like, but I mean, that sounds like it's such a. It sounds like
archaic, right?
Archaic term, but it's like, how many people do you know do them?
Right.
Like I can honestly say, like, speaking on Earthgang, we actually planned a rollout. Like we had actual we thought about this for months.
Yeah.
And I think the beauty in that is the project is lasting more than a week.
That's right.
Because it was set up to be something substantial. Right. It wasn't set up to be like I'm gonna throw this out.
Yeah.
That was my question. That's what I meant to say. When you put an album out, how does the marketing, the life of the album work in terms of marketing? Because before, back in the day, you would put out an album and the next year you release a single this month, single 3 months. Nowadays it's like a new album or something or a new song in 3 months instead of working the songs that are on that album. So how do you promote an album now when you put it out? Or is it just a quick cycle we got to live with, or can we extend the life of projects when we put them out?
I think some people are trapping, and that means we just got to serve. We got to serve. We got to keep serving. Mm-hmm. Some people are building, and that takes more time, and it like there's no right or wrong way in that, right?
Right.
But again, we've worked on stuff like the first Trunk music. We knew the date it was coming out.
That's right.
Like about 6 months before. We knew how we were gonna do it. We knew we were gonna have countdowns. We knew we were gonna go to these blogs. We knew that at the time we knew everything that we were gonna do to lead up to 1/1. Well, I forgot what.
Yeah, first day of the year.
It was the first day of the year, and
2010. Yep.
Yeah, 1/1/10, and it was like that was always there. It was not we always planned on that.
Right.
And a lot of things happened in between that, but because it was independent, it was we
was
just put it
us.
out. Yeah, it just did it. That's harder to do now in major record companies because of the flow of attention.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to be in charge of your rollout, and that's why I said it's about smart people. Like labels were good because that was the place you could go to get all the tools.
Yeah.
Now labels don't hire some of the smarter people.
Yeah.
They hire the hot people, and in hot that means they're looking at you to be hot.
That's right.
So they can be on hot shit.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to go to people who are willing to work with you, like do the actual work.
Yeah.
Like, again, we've all slung CDs, we've sold T-shirts, we've done every job. Like, I've done every fucking job.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. I got a picture of you, man, when we were maybe DC. There was like a whole line of kids outside. Now, mind you, they were there to see like Wiz Khalifa, but we were opening for Wiz or something going on. And KP personally went to each person in the line and gave them like our assets, like made sure they had a CD. I forget what we had at the time, but I got a photo of that, which I'll get it to you someday here, man. Like, it was just dope to see you out there hustling. Sidebar.
Well, I mean, because that's the thing. It's like, you got to be willing to do the work, because like anybody can put a song up on the internet.
Yeah.
But the person who gets out there and the person who puts on the pamper and walks around while being dope.
Yeah, man.
Like the person who's not embarrassed by that part.
That's right.
Because he knows on the other side of this shit, you're going to be like, what the fuck is that?
That's right.
And it's going to be dope.
That's right.
Like, but you got to be willing to get out there and say you got some dope shit. And you got to do something to make people look.
That's right, man.
So, and at the time, the look was we were there with Wiz Khalifa, who had a captive audience.
We had the look.
They definitely concentrate.
Yeah.
So all I got to do is give them something to concentrate with.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna either roll your weed on it, possibly listen to it.
Right.
If the shit I think the artwork is interesting enough for if you are rolling your weed on this, that you're like, man, what the fuck?
Well,
and and that's the work.
Yeah.
That's the build. That's
Facts.
the part you got to do, and that works across all of it. It's like whether it's DJing, like I started DJing, I had to start I couldn't just be at one music fest. I started DJing again in clubs, at weddings, like, and there's a part of that where you gotta be cool enough with yourself, because like I definitely got a text DM once from somebody who said, "Man, that's crazy. All the shit you did in your career, now you just a DJ." I said, "You just a dickhead."
Yeah, exactly.
In my head, but I didn't reply to that.
Right.
But I was like, bro, you don't know my plan. You don't know what I got going. You don't know what I'm about to do, or you don't know what I want to do.
Right.
You don't know my dreams, bro. Like,
right.
But don't that help though with keeping your pulse? Keeping the pulse on what's going on today?
Oh yeah, absolutely, for real. I mean, 1,000%, 1,000%. But that's the whole point. The fact that he thinks it's just a DJ.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the problem. It's like, no, bro, I'm DJ. I was a DJ first. Like, without the DJing part, all the other
None
shit
of the
doesn't
other
work.
shit happens, right?
Like every talent or skill set I have is based on DJing. It's like it's putting the right people together, songs. It's mixing. It's it's understanding when to place, sequencing, and how to make a crowd move a certain way to be willing to hear some shit they haven't heard before. It's like all of the things you got to do to have a good party and be special.
Yeah. Listen, bro, I think it was one of the most brilliant moves you made in the last 10 years, man, because what it did was reconnected you.
Yeah.
Like it gave you like another.
It's fun, bro.
It's fun, bro. And at the end of the day, bro, it also like, it was the thing that I felt has kind of been needed. And there's plenty of guys doing it, so I don't want to get into the DJ conversation with people, but to see a real DJ really doing the festivals now. Like, it's like, this ain't just some old, program. Let me just hit this button and hit the fun. We ain't doing all that. Like, you still get down. You know what I mean? And so I thought that was just really dope. And I watched it. So I saw you take a light break for a little while. You got into health real heavy, man. You was running and just getting your shit together. And then all of a sudden, bro, it was like Superman.
Well, I knew I couldn't be a fat DJ. At 40, a 40-year-old fat DJ.
Man, facts.
Who the fuck why would you book that?
Yeah, right.
For sure.
Like, so it's about the work you willing to do, bro. Like, and it's the time to study. It's the time to, like, it's that, I think no matter what you do, you got to put the prep time in. And if you plan on doing it for real, because what I know I wouldn't be able to do is travel, stand up for 2 hours, DJing, jumping up and down, getting on the plane, getting back, taking kids to school. Like, all the things that are required to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
I got to make sure I'm fit for that.
And up for it, yeah.
Welcome back to the FreeGame Podcast. We're here with the legend KP. Now, I noticed on your IG page, you're real big on family and putting your kids first, and I think they're the KPs, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
and major.
Yep.
What's the importance of family and having that balance in this crazy, fast-paced industry?
I mean, the idea of it is it's the goal, right?
Right.
Because that's what we do it for.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this: we do it because it's our gift, it's our talent, it's our journey, or our purpose, right? But then when you can find an inspiration or a reason to put a little more focus in that purpose, like for me, that's what kids did.
Yeah.
Kids made me focus my effort.
Right.
Because it ain't but so much time you got, and you want to be there as much as you can for your kids, but you also have to be a way to provide for them, right?
Yeah.
And that, and not to mention, we're in a make believe kind of business, so none of it really makes sense. It's just one day we're there, and 5 or 6 days we're not, and possibly, or and there's some cool perks to come with it, but a lot of it is really hard. So it's weird. Did you ask me that? But it's like, I don't know that I could answer the balance question in that, because I just know how hard it is on my family. Like, so I'm just grateful that they fuck with me.
Yeah, I think it's dope, man. But like,
that's real.
Knowing you personally, man, it's like I've always admired the effort. Like, you always made sure you put the effort into making sure that like they were good no matter what kind of decisions you had to make, because, you know, I've seen you have to work in New York, but in family still in Atlanta, LA, just all of the moves that you've had to make, dog. I think it's just dope. It speaks to like just the desire to try to be great. Like at the end of the day, I mean, I hate to sound like you know, hashtag, you know. But I just want to, you know, shout that out because I see how important it is, man. And you know, it's a long, you're creating like lineage at this point, man. Because I see that your son's getting into music, and what's dope about him is he took all of the correct steps before he even stepped into it. Like
Absolutely.
He's been watching you work all this time. He did his thing. He went and graduated from school.
Went and learned the proper.
Come on, man.
Yeah, like so what he now has is the advantage of time because we freestyled all this shit.
Freestyle.
Like you know, and there's beauty in that.
Yeah.
But to have some like template can only help. Like his publishing, he owns everything.
He know what's up.
He's working.
Crazy.
He gets checks off of. He's gotten syncs. You know, it's like And to me, that's the point. It's like, bro, like use whatever dumb things I did to make sure you know not to do those.
That's dope.
And my kids in general, like family, everybody. It's like, look, there's a lot of cool things that you can probably learn from me, and most of those things are gonna come from the mistakes. Yeah, like because all the wins, everybody. Kind of that shit, it worked.
Yeah, right.
Like, but figure out what those things you don't want to do.
That's right.
Like, and again, it's like I talk to my kids the way I talk to my friends. Right. And not like, hey, my nigga, but like I talk to them with the same information. I want to give them the truth that I know.
Yeah. It's dope, man.
That's dope.
Super dope.
So I read, I think you're based in LA now, and you're looking to get into movies.
No, actually, I'm actually in like literally in the process of moving back to Atlanta now.
Come on, man. We can't wait for that.
It's funny. I was listening to I was riding over here listening to Jay-Z, and the Rulers back came on and I'm like, oh man, it's so cool. Like, come on. but not on no like that. But it was just like the irony of it on the way over here, and I was like, man, because it was so many things I was thinking about in that. Right, I was thinking about, man, the career, like me and your relationship is starting from Wolf, being back in Atlanta and feeling that energy of like the ability to be like amazingly black and support it, right? Yeah. And it's funny because I was like, as black as I feel like I am, I'm still the person who signed, as well as signed Yelawolf.
That's right.
But as well as work with TLC and Lauren, I also work with Pink.
That's right.
So it's like I'm not trying to act like I'm, bliggity. Yeah. Like because I am, but I take that Atlanta shit everywhere I go and that black shit everywhere I go. Yeah. And I was listening to Jay-Z over here. I was like, and I got Apple and I got Spotify, but I only listen to Jay-Z on Tidal. Yeah. I was like, that's my contribution to the black shit. I wish I might listen to Jay-Z on Apple.
Right. That's fine, man. Nah, I more shit that I got to witness, man. We ran into Pink one time at a concert or something, man, and KP is KP and Pink is Pink, and this is pop star Pink, like the other side. And big love, like it was like yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
I just think, and she's solid. She's solid to me, like Tip is solid.
Come on, man.
Like I'm blessed in that way that the majority of artists that I've worked with, whether or not we still have to work with each other or not, there's a respect there.
Super
and there's
respect.
And I think there's a appreciation for each person's contribution, like both ways. Like, cause I know what she did to my career.
That's right.
Like, so it's like. Yeah, it's like mutually respectful and it's mutual love.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
Now this may seem like a dumb question, but I don't believe in dumb questions. I believe in important questions. So,
come on, man.
So you're coming back to Atlanta. How do you feel about the Atlanta music climate now? Are you proud of Atlanta? And how do you feel sitting in this seat now? Because you were here at the beginning in the 90s.
Yeah, you seen it all.
Probably earlier, but yeah.
I mean, when
I'm saying like from the first the South got something to say.
Come on,
from that
man.
space on.
I mean, you were invited to the TLC video shoot for what About Your Friends? Was it? Was that the song?
Oh, that's Baby.
Or Baby, yeah.
Yeah, Baby.
You got invited to that, and listen to episode 94. You were invited to that shoot, to that video shoot, and you got on kind of then to now. So, like, are you proud of Atlanta? How do you feel about Atlanta?
Yeah,
what are your thoughts?
Atlanta, like that baby shoot kind of is what Atlanta is. Hey, we got a video shoot. You and Reese and them come down. and bring your shit because you might be able to audition for Pebbles.
Yeah.
She's looking for people for the video, but just bring y'all shit. So I had my turntables in the trunk. I had all my shit ready, and when T.I. made the intro, we were prepared. You know, it's like, but we had been practicing. We had been talent show kids. We had been working to be this. So, you know, it just so happened that the opportunity presented itself because we were doing something we wanted to do. Yeah. And when I look at the scene now, it's like you still see, you know, good, bad, and indifferent. You see everybody going through shit together. Yeah. Like, you know, and standing up with each other and sometimes sitting down with each other.
That's right.
But it's like, it's the attempt at doing for more than yourself.
That's right.
Like, so it's like, it's those, I'm most proud of that. It's like, we got the most independent, even major artists that are independent in their thinking, in their way of moving, in their authority within these buildings. Mm-hmm. Like, I think we've shifted the understanding that we don't work for the labels. The labels are supposed to work for the artists.
That's right.
Like, the labels don't, they're companies, but they're really like cars. And if you don't give them, if they don't have gas,
can't go.
They don't go nowhere.
That's right.
Yeah. So, you know, just Atlanta, I feel like we understand that we are gas.
Yeah. That's facts. So what's next, man? Like, I mean, you know, we're watching, but like we don't have the map yet. What's up? What's next for you, man? What's going on?
I'm learning something else right now.
There it is. Can we ask what that is?
I'm learning something else right now. Shit, you know what it is if I learn it right.
There it is. Yeah, man, this has been amazing, man. All these conversations are always golden.
Well, let me say this. I will say this. Okay, so I'm managing Tip. Yeah. I am working on the Usher record.
Come on.
We are, you know, we're building a lot of shit, man. It's like I feel like, yeah, we're building a lot, and those are the things that are normal, but there are a lot of new things happening too. Yeah. Like, so, like, I think coming back to Atlanta is the best thing for me, like, just to be able to be close to the culture that I understand, that I know how to amplify, and to be able to communicate with people I know how to talk to, and you know, just communicate with. Yeah. But also people that I can help push this shit more, because it's like we had. I feel like Atlanta, we got the longest run.
It ain't going nowhere either.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's like the only way it goes somewhere is we go somewhere.
That's right.
So I'm like, that's like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm coming home, but it's like, I'm appreciative that there's a home to come to.
Yeah, man. Nah, I mean, I think that, you know, you should always be here. I for that, man. You know, we need your experience and your expertise to help guide, because we're out here doing it, and there's some really great guys out here in the mix, but like, my personal connection is with you. So I just, you know, want to stay a part of that. Did the battery die? Anyway, I can finish. I'm still on camera over here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm proud of
be prepared, my guy.
Sir. Please drop all of your, your socials. Where can we keep up with you? Like, do it, you know, whatever you want people to know.
My name is my name, and that is my Instagram. All my socials is my name. It's Kawan Prather.
Yeah, it is.
Kawan Prather, wherever that is. And, you know, support. Like, I ask for the same support I give. That's it.
Perfect, man.
FreeGame Podcast.
Dope. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.